What's up, Inkie peeps? It's Del from Inkie Quill, and today we're doing some 12 by 12 work. Now I'm feeling rusty. I will be very honest with you. I'm feeling very rusty. But today we're making a layout and then 2 easy PL pages. So the reason why I'm doing 12 by 12 today is that these are part of my childhood album, which I sporadically do photos here and there, and it is 12 by 12. So the reason why I chose 12 by 12 for that album in particular is because I knew that I was going to do a lot of pocket page scrapping and just to fit in as many photos as I could. So these are photos from my 7th birthday party, and it was a Princess Jasmine themed party, and it was probably my 3rd favorite birthday of all time, or would be top three birthdays of all time. I absolutely loved it. My nana made me a special Princess Jasmine outfit, and I just felt like so glamorous. It was at a fairy party shop, and there was a lady dressed up who I thought was genuinely Princess Jasmine for about another 4 years, I think, and it was just really good fun. So I'm going through, I knew I wanted to do kind of like a blue or a green background of some sort, so I just grabbed, this is my stack of blue and green papers from my Calyx unit, and I'm just going through and finding a background. So I went for this paper for a couple of reasons, and I want to try and challenge you to grab into some of those old papers from your stash that you maybe used to like but don't reach for as much anymore. So this is a basic grey. It's not too old, but it's definitely one of the oldest in my collection, I think, maybe, and it's very busy. I picked it because the colours are beautiful, and I, just like we all do with papers, we run across these papers and we're like, oh, it's so pretty, but then when it actually comes to doing something with it, it's a bit harder. And I thought this kind of reminded me of, I don't know, like glass, and I thought the genie lamp, and I just thought it looked a bit fancy, and Aladdin's all about the sparkle and the treasure, and this made me think of treasure. So that's why we went with it. I need to cover some of it up though. It's very patterned, and I think if I'd put my photo on just as the background, it would have got a little bit lost. So I've decided to go for a bit of a star thing for today's page because I was obsessed with the song Arabian Nights. And as an only child, my parents were subjected to basically nightly performances by me of some sort, either songs I'd made up, dances I'd choreographed to like Bewitched and Steps and the Spice Girls, or beautiful karaoke renditions of Arabian Nights. And so I wanted to use the stars because it reminded me of that song, Nighttime. So I went to do some with just a white acrylic paint, but it wasn't opaque enough for me, so I just grabbed my gesso again and did some more. And then I've got this gorgeous gold modelling paste. I held it up to the camera because I don't know, I think it's Candence. I got it at a scrapbook expo, and it's lovely and gold and very, very smooth to spread across. And I'm just doing some little gold stars here and there. I also off camera cut out just hand cut some wonky stars. I purposely made them look wonky, so that's the trick. You purposely make something not look straight, and then you cannot make a mistake. So I hand cut some stars out, and I'm going to do some embossing. Now, I learnt something here. I recently bought a couple of new embossing powders because I had some sent to me, which was fantastic, and I used them all up because they were so lovely. And so I needed to replenish my gold stash. And so I grabbed this one, which is a new one that I got from scrapbook.com called, I think it's called Gold Tinsel, possibly. And I was expecting it to be really chunky, and it was not at all. So these two I think I end up redoing with just the plain gold from Ranger, and I much prefer the results. I'm using these I think they're Letterite. I think that's what they're called. I think they're from Ranger. I did a video back in that video would probably be August, maybe September last year, where I used these embossing pens to do the cover on my art journal and an art journal page, and I really like them. They are, however, I don't know, the nib on the larger brush is very soft. It has not kept it's not rigid at all. It's not what I would like it to be. It's a little bit too flopsy, but I don't think it's got a lot of life left in it after this. It's I think it's on its last legs, but I persevered and I got through it, and I'm just tracing around the outside. You can do the same thing with a Versamark ink pad. Are they called ink pads even though they're not ink, or are they just called pads? Versamark pad. Anyway, you could do the same with that. I just thought it would be easier and quicker to do with the pen. Now you can see here as I'm embossing it, the gold just flew off and disappeared. The stripe ones are a little bit better, but I did lose quite a bit of the goldness. I wasn't a huge fan of that gold tinsel, which is a bit of a shame. So off camera I do end up fixing up 2 of those. There you go, you can see them there, and they're so much golder, so much more gold, so much words aren't working for me today, peeps, but they're a lot golder. There we go. So now I've got my 2 photos, and I was tossing up which size to do, and I decided to do a large one and a small one. I've been really liking that look lately, and I find it easier. I didn't used to, but now I find it easier to scrap when I've got a large photo and a small photo. When I have 2 large photos, I really struggle, and I knew that I was already going to find this square canvas, if you will, a challenge, and so I thought that it might be a bit easier to do what I'm more comfortable with, because the background is very busy and the size it's not my comfort zone. So I'm just using some tissue paper, and I was feeling incredibly indecisive today as I was making this layout. Very, very indecisive indeed. And so there was a lot. I turned the camera off quite a few times and just stared at the layout just to figure out what I was doing. Like I said, it was just being out of my comfort zone, just made it a little bit trickier to do today. And the reason why I'm uploading this video tonight my time, might be daytime your time, is because it's my birthday on Sunday. I'm turning 30 on Sunday, and so I wanted to do a birthday layout, and I have already scrapped. I think the last few years I seem to be consistent with Project Life up until like the end of March, so I seem to cover my birthday on time every year. So I had to dive back into the archives to find these photos. Now these photos, the quality is quite shocking because of course I was a child of the 90s and we didn't have digital cameras, unfortunately. God bless Archie, he's going to have so many photos, it's ridiculous. But I scanned these photos in, and of course the quality is not the same. I do want to buy I've seen at my local camera shop, it's a photo scanner, so it's specifically the size of a photo and also can do negatives, and so I'm thinking of looking up and seeing if there's any reviews on that particular machine. I have to go in and get a photo of what it is. But if you have a negative scanner or a photo scanner, please let me know, because my normal printer scanner, even though it's quite a good scanner, it's not fabulous for photos, for picking up the details. So then I punched a whole ton of extra stars, and I'm sticking those down, and I used that Party is from the new crepe paper. It's not Happy Days. What's the birthday one called? Probably got Hooray in the title, I think. It's this year's birthday one, and it says Party. If you can hear in the background, the baby monitor has just started to go off because Archie's meant to be going to sleep, and instead he's singing and playing the drums on the side of his cot. So I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. All right, I'm back now. I have reminded the child that it's sleep time, and we're back with the voiceover. I'm sorry also about my croaky voice. Archie has very kindly passed on some lovely daycare germs that he picked up last week, so I'm battling a bit of a sore throat at the moment, and I always get a sore throat when I have a ton of voiceovers and editing coming up, and I'm really excited. I've got a ton of videos to edit next week, and I'm hoping that my voice is going to be better then. We'll see how we go. So with the stickers here, there was a sticker there that I kind of wished I'd used, because it was a bird and it was pink and green and turquoise, and the colours went perfectly, but I felt like it would have looked weird. So I've got all these stars and then bird. So I decided against that bird. It's one of these funny little things, we've talked about before, about the strange icons that sometimes are in sticker packs and ephemera packs, and I really struggle to use bird stuff. I don't know why, but I struggle with birds, and so I have been trying to use that thing for what feels like a long time. It's probably been a year, but still, it's a long time for my scrapbooking supplies, especially crepe paper, to stick around. So I'm just going through and adding all sorts of stars and bits and pieces. I'm thinking of doing some more childhood layouts over here. So I've decided that I will only be doing 12 by 12 layouts over here on Patreon for you guys. Oh, Heidi Shine, shake, 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 Heidi Shine, shake, Heidi Shine. And so you probably will be seeing a few more childhood ones pop up over this year. I'll probably do like one every couple of months or so, because it is funny how, let me know in the comments if you've had this, if you've changed sizes, because I find that it's incredible how different I approach a 9 by 12 than I do a 12 by 12, just with figuring out the composition a little bit. And I really, really feel rusty with the 12 by 12s, but I'll get back there. I've just got to be a little bit more consistent and do a ton of them at the same time. So I added a couple of tiny word stickers, and they were actually from the Boys Rule Cocoa Vanilla page, and just because it says Boys Rule doesn't mean you can't be used for a little girl's birthday party. So always make sure that you don't discredit some of your other scrapbooking supplies that are themed, because you can always find, of course, some of the things like boys will be boys, and that wouldn't work on this page, but there's a lot of things that can work for both. I Heidi shined the bejesus out of this page. Probably the most Heidi shine I've used on a page so far this year, for sure, if not for quite a while. I just felt like it needed a little extra sparkle, but I love the way this one turned out, and it was really fun to make. It was fun to experiment with the embossing powder. However, I now have embossing powder freaking everywhere. It's the devil of the scrapbooking world. I think it just gets into every crevice, and it's stuck all over my Heidi Swap messy mat. And so I think I'm actually going to have to, I tried brushing it off, and it's like it's just stuck. It's stuck right on there. So I think I'm going to have to actually maybe put it in the shower and give it a bit of a shower and a wash. Let me know if you've had this problem with embossing powder sticking to your messy mat, and any tricks and tips you have to get rid of it. I'm sorry about the lighting here as well. It was a bit of a funny lighting day. My camera was misbehaving a little bit, but I'm going back and I'm actually using some Inkie printables from March, and it was March 2018 and November 2017. And I'm using a combination of the two because there was some birthday themed things, and I found a few in my stash that I wanted to get into an album. So just adding a bit of journaling onto this card, and then I didn't want to add too much journaling because the photos were quite busy, and so I do add an extra card of journaling and slide it in between the two of the 4x6 photos and have a little tab on it so that it can be pulled out if we want to read it, or it can just stay in there and be hidden if I don't want to read it. But I just did the main points I wanted to have on that text card. So then adding a sticker also from that Boys Rule sticker sheet and some Hardy Shine, and that card was so easy to put together. Also got to add, of course, a few gold stars. I get a lot of questions about the punches and the glitter cardstock. I just use, I think it's called Bella brand. Is it Bella? It's not Bella Boulevard. It's I think it's an Australian brand from Spotlight. It's just Bella glitter cardstock from Spotlight. And the punches that I used was an EK Success multi-star one, and then just a generic small star one from Lincraft. So for this card, I wanted to just do basically the what and the where and the when. And so I had to grab my food ball because I have misplaced all of my Pilot G2s. This happens every freaking time. I bought a new pack of 4. This would probably be about a few weeks ago, and I have lost them all. They're my favourite pens, and I just found one. There's one hiding underneath my laptop tray out here where I'm recording my voiceover. Yay! All right, I'm down to 1 pen. I've still lost the other 3. They'll turn up in handbags or random places very soon, I think. So for here, I wanted to just add a nice little filler card and kind of tie in some of the dark, because these photos were very high contrast, and I tried to play with the contrast a little bit, but it didn't help a lot. So I wanted to do a black something to tie in the dark colors of the background. And looking back at these photos, I laugh at that one in the bottom left where I'm posing, such a poser, and I see so much of Archie in that face, in that photo. And some of the little, like the poses that he does. If you like ask him to take a photo, he does the most hilarious little, he goes cute, and he does like this little face where he scrunches it up and he puts his shoulder up, and it's hilarious. I think at daycare they take photos of them during the day and do like a journal entry for the parents to read on an app, and I think a lot of the time they ask them to like do different things when they take photos, but I see a lot of Archie in that bottom left hand photo. And then my dad and I in the middle. Just love Dad's high-waisted jeans and 90s attire there. It's just, oh, it's a great look. So here is this side, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the other side as well. But I must admit, I haven't started my project life for 2019 yet. However, I am contemplating going back to 12 by 12. I know. I'm still contemplating it. I'm still going. I will have a video with my finished February couch scrapping. I definitely met my first goal, and you'll have to wait and see if I met my second goal. So my first goal was 50 pages of Project Life in February, in the month of February. I started on like the 27th of January, so I cheated by a couple of days. But 50 pages, that was my first goal, and then I changed it to 75 pages, and you'll have to wait and see if I met that second goal, because it was a fun challenge, and I made some progress. But yeah, there's some pros and some cons to couch scrapping, so I'll go all over that in that video very soon. So here I've got just a filler card, and I just wanted to write 7 years old, because I'm thinking with my childhood album, let me know if you've done a childhood album, but I'm thinking of having it separated by ages. So I generally had a birthday party with either 10 friends, or at least a family dinner where I had a birthday cake and photos were taken. And so I'm pretty sure every birthday I'd have some sort of, photo to document that. So I'm thinking of separating it into different, instead of having it separated into different calendar years. I'm thinking of splitting it into birthday years. I'm not quite sure about that though. It might actually be easier to do calendar years if I do school stuff, because our school year runs January to December. Haven't worked that one out yet. I've only got a few layouts in this childhood album, so it's just kind of I don't want to give myself a pressure of finishing it. Do you have a project like that you just sporadically do pages of and then pop them in when you can? I think that when you do Project Life, which is so chronological and structured, that it's nice to have an album like this that you can just kind of dilly-dally your way through a little bit and just pick it up when you feel like it and then put it down when you don't feel like it. Whereas with Project Life, I have fallen so behind because just life and, you know, child and all of that fun stuff. But I don't feel behind with my childhood album because I haven't set myself any strict have to finish it by this time. So I'm just slipping these in, and I didn't do any embellishing to the 4x6 photos, and I think that's going to kind of be my goal for this childhood album, is to just do embellishing on filler cards and journaling cards, just to make it a lot easier to complete, but B, also just focus a bit more on the photos. So here they all are. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm really excited to keep going with some 12x12 layouts occasionally, and I'm also, let me know if you have 2019 Project Life plans and what size album you're working with, because it's tempting. It's very tempting to go back to the 12x12. It's also a lot easier to get stuff here in Australia too. We'll see how we go. All right, peeps, I'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye.